Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
Hello, this is
Hi,
Tim
Tim.
Fergestad. Hi, thank you for
Yes.
joining.
Thank
I'm
you.
very pleased to have Sherri Parkin here with me here today. Sherri has decades of experience in business and finance, over a decade as a commercial and residential real estate agent with Berkshire Hathaway here in the Valley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So let's go ahead and back up. And why don't you tell us about how you got to this point right here, and then you can give us a snapshot of your business if that works.
Yes, sure. So actually, a long time ago, I went to college and decided to become a CPA. And so I've been a CPA since 1991,
All
but
right.
all my focus has been on commercial contractors. I used to do job site visits. I also was the CFO for a publicly held company for home
Wow.
builders. So I've always been in that commercial realm.
Okay.
So anyway, back in 2012, I just kind of decided I wanted a bit of a change, and I decided to stop taking new CPA clients.
Okay.
And at that time, I actually decided to write two books. And so I did that. I wrote Timer Diet and Timer Organizer. But then by 2014, I was like, maybe I should do something that would make a little bit more money. So did that.
Okay.
And I've always loved real estate, always liked, going to open houses and new
Okay.
builds, stuff like that. And so I thought I'd give it a try. And actually, it's been the best thing I've ever done. I've,
Excellent.
yeah, I've met more people. I've made more money than ever did as a CPA. So
Okay.
there's that. But really, it's just been kind of fun to just meet so many different people and do so much.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you for that. That's one of the things I enjoy about it as well. Coming from a scientific background, not as social, right? Not that I'm just, stereotyping we're all nerds. I was a nerd and I was, introverted and all that, but, it's not I mean, we do network, we would go to conferences and work, but it was pretty focused. You're in your little field and you're in your little bubble, and it was nowhere near like business and real estate in particular, when you have new clients every month and you get to meet all sorts of great people. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, no, and I used to get that as a CPA that people thought I was very stodgy, but
Okay.
I did a lot more consulting too, so that was, nice too. But they're right. There was a lot of times you're sitting at home or sitting in your office working on a computer, and the real estate world gets you out a lot more, so it's kind of fun.
For sure, for sure. And I too, I've always kind of liked real estate. I mean, architecture and the housing and the designs, and I like swinging a hammer and I like doing that stuff. So playing,
Done that yet.
renovating stuff.
I want to do a
Uh,
tear down one of these days, where you get to really whack at
sure.
the wall and tear it down. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, okay. It sounds like you're watching the shows. It is fun at first.
As long as you're not responsible for doing the whole thing, you just want to do a few.
Okay, yeah, the groundbreaking, if you will, the wall breaking
Right.
ceremony.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
No, I do watch a lot of real estate shows for sure.
Okay, what was it? I think of the original one, This Old House. That's the one I think is the.
So
Did you ever
yeah,
see that with Bob
I
Vila?
I didn't see that one. My go-to is Million Dollar Listing, Selling Sunset. I actually went to New York and met Ryan Serhant and went to
Ah,
his Halloween. Well, it was actually a season finale party. It was
oh,
right
that's
at the
cool.
end of COVID or the beginning of COVID, so it was the
Okay.
last one he ever did in New York
Huh.
City back in 2019.
Okay, that's very
Yeah,
cool.
so that
Was
was
it
fun.
fun?
That was fun. It was a lot
Okay.
of fun. Yep.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
those are kind of the ones I watch.
Okay. Okay. So there's this is a booming market, right? So Phoenix continues to grow, quality job growth, all the metrics I look for as a sort of commercial investor. Um, you it's funny, right? Because yeah, rates are up, transaction volume is down, but there's still like bidding wars in some submarkets, right? It really depends. Can you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
competition right now? What sets you apart and how the market is right now?
Yes, I actually just put in an offer and we went in as a backup because it had been on the market for 60 days. And of course, somebody got under contract on Saturday and my client saw it and said, "Oh, I want to see it Sunday." So we hurried up and went out and saw it and it was already under the contract. But we put in a backup offer. So we'll
Okay.
see. I've actually had a lot of success with backup offers. I think if you are a buyer out there, don't think that a backup offer is a bad deal. It's almost the easiest thing you could do because when you're in backup position, you get to still go out and find another house. You're
Right.
not like stuck with that house. You don't have to wait and all that kind of stuff. It's
Right.
almost like putting a pin in it and saying, okay, if this falls out, it's mine. And while you're doing that, I'm going to still keep looking. So I love backup offers. They happen.
And they really do. They really do. A lot of people get emotional about it though, right? They don't want it now, or it's kind of funny how that works.
I hear, oh, I don't want to waste my time. It'll never happen. And I'm like, such a defeatist attitude. No, we can make this happen. And part of it is also keeping in touch with that agent, even when you are in the backup position and following up and letting them know that you are interested. I wish I knew the exact numbers, but I know I've had like a dozen backups that actually turned into being closed escrows. So it really does
Okay.
work. And it works on the seller side too. So I've done a lot as a buyer's agent, but I always encourage my sellers to accept a backup offer.
Right, right. And I'd also like to add that I don't know what it's like here locally. You're talking mostly residential, right? You're looking at houses, right? You mostly right now.
Residential, I mean, you can do it sometimes, sometimes less often in commercial. Sometimes in leases, though, I've tried to get a backup offer. They're not as willing to do it, but
Okay,
they'll still keep in touch with you. So it's kind of an unofficial backup in
okay,
commercial, I would say. It's more
right,
of keeping in touch so that they know that you want to be the next person.
right, right. We actually it depends. It comes and goes, but it's been more common in multifamily and like when people buy an apartment building and stuff. A lot of people can't perform, right? They get it under contract, and it's 60 days is sometimes not enough to get everything in order. And anyway, it's a lot of challenges right now. So we've been the beneficiary of a couple of deals falling out in that space as well.
Yeah. No, I know in the multifamily world and even in commercial, they get these ideas and then maybe the zoning's not right for them or something like that. So, yeah, backup's the way to go.
So what's your favorite part of your job right now? And I mean, the numbers part obviously comes easy to you, but
Right. The negotiation. I
yeah,
love the negotiation. I also have history with negotiating against the IRS, though. So that's
okay,
kind of when I stopped taking on my own CPA clients, I started working with a tax attorney. And so I got to do quite a few different negotiations, audits, appeals, going against IRS attorneys, that kind of stuff, and winning. So I just love the negotiation process.
okay, excellent. Is that one of the biggest challenges you've had in your career? Is audits and so forth?
Oh, no, I mean, I kind of take all that in stride. To me,
Okay,
I
that's
always,
just
you just put all the documents together, you get in
okay,
everything that you ask for, and then, the legal system kind of does its own thing. But
right,
no, I've never really gotten rattled by that kind of stuff. It's not really
okay.
that big a deal for me. So I'm very
So
fortunate
what?
for that.
Okay, excellent. So what has been the biggest challenge in your career?
Difficult agents on the other side that don't know how to negotiate.
Or just transact when they mess up
They
the deal,
just
or
they don't know how to
you
transact, they don't know how to communicate.
you
I
end up
mean,
doing all their work for them just to get the deal
right.
done. Yeah,
Or
I've
they
been
get
there.
super emotional about everything, and you're just like, oh
You're like,
gosh,
yeah,
okay.
you're the agent. You're the one who's supposed to be not the emotional. You're supposed to make sure the transaction gets done independent
Right,
of all
right.
that drama.
Exactly. So that's the hardest part is just taking a breath and saying, okay, you're gonna have to do your part and their part and get it through. So
Right.
just.
Yeah, that's
But
kind of funny. One of the best parts of real estate is the people, and one of the worst parts of real estate is the
it's the
people.
people. My
Right.
clients are almost all good. I mean, there's very few that I would not want to work with again, but some of the agents, there's a few I'd rather not deal with again if I
Right.
didn't
Oh,
have
for
to.
sure. For sure. For sure. Have you ever fired a client?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you
Yeah.
have to. If you do enough deals, you're going to
I,
run into people you're like, you're just not worth working with.
it was funny. It was a listing, and I ran it by my broker. I said, "Hey, this is what's going on." He didn't want me to show the storage unit because the storage unit was really super, super small. Like, I don't know, like 3 feet by 3 feet. And he was trying to say that you could get golf clubs in it. And so I know, right? And he was mad at me because I showed the storage unit. And I go, "Well, of course, why would I not show the storage unit?" He goes, "Well, you
Right.
can't do that anymore." I go, well, there's a reason for that, and that's because you're not my client anymore. But yeah, okay, sure.
Huh. Yeah, we have, yeah, as agents here, we have some pretty high standards. We have
If we say
a
golf
code of
clubs fit,
ethics and all that
yeah, we
stuff we
have
have
to,
to follow.
yeah. So, yeah, I think that was probably the only listing I can think of once in a while. Well, as a buyer's agent, you get leads, and so sometimes they've got their own agenda, whether it's selling you on crypto or something, and so you kind
Oh
of
boy.
soft walk that off, and you're like, okay, well, this is probably not working. But that was the only listing that I had to cancel.
Okay. 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 Interesting. What's one of your favorite things about working here in Phoenix? You're a native, by the way. I'd like to point out to our viewers and listeners,
Yes, yes,
which is
born and
always
raised,
exciting for me because there's so many of us from other places. It's
right.
almost like a unicorn nowadays.
Yeah, so I was born and raised here, went to Shadow Mountain High School for 1 year, but then I did move up to Prescott, and then I went to NAU up in Flagstaff, and then I came back here as soon as I graduated from NAU. So I've been here
Okay.
again. So I think I was gone from 74 to 88, a little, yeah. But other than that,
Okay.
I've been here in Phoenix. What do I love about Phoenix? I wish it had an ocean, but other than that, I love everything about it. I mean, I love the mountains. When I come flying back in from being out of state, I just love the sunsets, the mountains,
Hmm.
the parks, the hiking, different things to do, all the different culture. If you're into sports, up until just last year or so, we had all four sports, and I do
Yeah.
love all four sports. So I hope we get hockey back.
We
Um,
will.
yeah, I think we will. So we've got that. You've got concerts to go to. You've got things to do. This it's just a really great city, and I love to see the regentrification of, taking something that maybe hasn't, it's been left alone for a while, and then just building something really cool. And I see that a lot in Phoenix, that when certain parts of town are kind of left, then another company will come in and build stuff and just make it brand new again.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we're in a kind of a sprawly desert where it's often cheaper to go outside than to rebuild the downtown area, but it's happening in pockets for sure. And it's real fun to see things go full cycle. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I even love that our airport. Yeah. What's your favorite thing about Phoenix, coming from somewhere that you've lived other
well, to come
places?
from Minnesota, yeah, we're here for the sunshine for sure. For sure. Yeah. My
Yeah.
wife didn't realize how much she liked it until she didn't have it after living in Utah and going back to the Midwest. And she was like, I kind of like seeing the sun all year round. That was nice.
The sun is really nice. Yes, I'd have to say that too.
Good. And how about the real estate market here locally? What's sort of your focus here, and what's your favorite part of that? And what's your least favorite part of the real estate market in Phoenix?
Uh, so probably my least favorite part is when I have to tell somebody that the house that they want is just not. No, you can't. No, there's either something super, super wrong with it, or there's, you've walked around and there's like, it's just stuff. You're like, no, we can't do that. So telling a client that they've kind of pick something that isn't going to be a good place. Maybe they wanted it for investment purposes and it's just not going to pencil out for them. So that's kind of
It's in the
hard to
middle
do.
of a floodplain or something.
Yeah.
You can't get insurance on that.
Right, exactly. So, but my favorite part is that there is so much to choose from. So like if you like, Arcadia where you get to see all, there's a lot of gentrification going on in Arcadia too.
Mhm.
Taking a house down to the studs or down all the way. So
They're
there's that.
scraping them, yeah.
Yeah. And so you've got that, but you've got also the historic areas, of Phoenix. And I
Mhm.
love the historic, like Coronado and all
Yep.
that kind of area. It's just so much to choose from. So I think we've got a lot of diversity as far as architecture. So there's really something for anybody that wants to buy around here, whether they want investment properties or they want it for their own,
Right.
too.
Okay. Thank you. So let's talk investing a little bit. Do you have your own real estate investment properties?
I have dabbled, but at the current time, no, I
Not
don't.
now. No.
No.
So may I ask, where do you like to invest right now, if not in real estate?
I do a little bit of stocks. That's probably where
Sure.
most of my stuff
That's
is going in stocks.
pretty traditional. Most people say that. I've surprised lately in the past. So far this year, I've had a talk with a number of financial people, a couple CPAs even, who are all over mutual funds still. And I was like, really? Okay. Just surprising
It's so
how.
I still have mutual funds. My sister used to work for a company, I won't say which one, and because she worked there, I have no load mutual funds. So I do have some of those too.
Okay. Okay.
But I do like
Okay.
picking my own stock. I like picking my own stock of places that I go to. So like if I shop there, get gas there, drink my
Right.
coffees there, I like to do
Yeah,
that. And I
yes, it
feel
makes
like
sense, right? Yeah, if I shop on Amazon, I'll buy some Amazon, right? Type of
yeah,
thing. That unfortunately that doesn't always work, right? It can be a product, it can be a good company that has a good product, and they could like Enron or something, right? They can be making money and still kill themselves, and you can lose
they
everything
could.
still.
Yeah, they could.
So, so that's why
Definitely.
diversification is very important.
Yeah. But I do love helping other clients with investment properties. I do 1031 exchanges. I do,
Okay,
because I'm also a CPA. One of
right.
my clients is still my client from 1986, and
Nice.
he's my last one. And I did his 1031 exchange as his CPA and his realtor. So I got
So are
to do
you qualified intermediary? No.
no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. A CPA cannot be a qualified intermediary.
Okay.
But I did how you have to file the tax return for the
Hmm.
1031 exchange, and you have to do all that goes with that. So
Right.
that's what I was talking about on that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
no, I have there's a few different companies that I've worked with on 1031 exchanges, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. For our listeners, in case you don't know, a 1031 exchange is when you sell something, often real estate, and then as long as you within a certain time frame identify a new property and use the proceeds from the property you're selling and to buy the new one, it has to be like kind, like real estate to real estate, for example. Uh, you can defer the taxes you owe on it until later. So you have the basis is still there, but basically they don't let you just do this by yourself. You have to go through a specific person called a qualified intermediary. And so there's rules about it, but there's some really good tax benefits about it. And you can just keep doing
Yes.
that until you
Yeah, you
die,
just
which
keep
is a
doing it, and
weird.
yeah. It's true. You just keep doing it. Delay, delay, to die.
Yeah, which
So
we
they
joke
call.
about. Yeah, it's not it doesn't sound like a great idea. I'm just gonna my strategy is to die. But there's a lot of you can pull a lot of the funds out in the meantime, do cash out refis and other stuff. It's more of a capital event type thing. And so really if you just keep growing it and have the amount of taxes you're deferring keeps growing, but you can when you do die, you can pass on the property to somebody else who gets a step up in basis, so they can avoid those taxes.
I've gone to a few seminars on the DST. I haven't had a client go into that yet, but the Delaware Statute Trust is something that is a new product. I guess it's kind of new, the last few years maybe. That is what they're kind of recommending for people that are at retirement age, they don't want to be a landlord anymore. They don't want the commercial property anymore. Then, it does help them when it comes time to get rid of their estate. When they do die, there's really nothing to sell. You just wait for that
Right.
Delaware
The trust
statutory
owns it
trust
now. Right.
to go ahead and end, because it's for a
Right.
certain time period,
Yep.
and then they just cash out.
Yep. And it's kind of a good backup for 1031.
It is. Yeah, especially if you can't find something. And there's been times,
Right.
when it's harder to find something back in the days when we were dealing with super multiple offers and so much more over asking and stuff like that. So it is a
Right.
good backup.
Right. Okay. So what's sort of the impact you've been able to have here in Phoenix, or what you would like to have moving forward, in terms of the real estate industry?
My impact, my legacy or something? I
Well,
don't know.
sure.
I don't guess I think that deep. I don't know.
All right. Well, how about this? What are just sort of your 12-month goals then? What's
My
your
12-month
2025
goals.
goals? Yeah.
Yeah. I've decided, I want to do 25% more than I did last year. I did
Okay.
about, I think what they say, 275 is what I did last year. So
Okay.
want to do a little bit more than that. I keep thinking about whether to start a team. I haven't decided on that yet. I keep
Okay.
thinking about it, but I don't do it. So I don't know what that means, but
Well, usually it's organic, right? Unless you join an already established team, which
yeah,
can be pretty good and bad.
yeah, I don't see myself start being on somebody else's team. If I did anything, it would either be me having a team, or I'll just keep it the way it is with myself.
Right.
So yeah, but no, I just, I like to go to Florida. My daughter and her family live there. I've got my license
Okay.
there, but I've not activated it. I just keep
Okay.
renewing it and taking in the classes for it.
Okay.
But should I ever move there, I'm all set. I'm ready to do it
Okay.
if I need to.
Was that easy to get a Florida license?
Well, it's interesting because I actually got my New York license in 2019. Can remember I was telling you about Ryan
Yeah.
Serhant, and I decided I wanted to get my New York license, and so that was probably harder. That was a lot
Okay.
harder, and I got that December of 2019. So then the next year, I thought, well, I've already got all this knowledge because there's a lot of overlap. Different states have different things, but there's still a lot of federal overlap. So I'm like, I should just get my Florida license. So I got that. But I've been very fortunate that when it came to my Arizona, New York, and Florida, I passed the state the first time, and I passed the school the first time. So
Okay.
I just keep
Excellent.
studying until I make sure I'm getting over 90%.
Okay. Okay. Did you
So,
help your daughter purchase property in Florida? Not yet. You said you had never
no.
activated it. Okay.
No, I didn't activate it, but ironically, 10 years ago, unbeknownst to either one of us, my son-in-law's brother got his Florida license. So at the
Okay.
same time he was getting his Florida license, I was getting my Arizona license. But he's my son-in-law's brother, so we don't talk. So anyway, so we both found out at Christmas that year that we both had gotten a license, and they've been taking care of him a lot. They've
Okay.
been buying
Okay.
lots of real estate.
It's funny how people swap like that. In my field, I always laugh when there's people here in Phoenix who are buying apartment complexes in Dallas. And there's people in Dallas buying apartment complexes in Phoenix. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. I've got investors that they have property here, but this isn't really where they normally buy. They normally buy in South Carolina, and they live in California, and they just happened to get on realtor.com,
okay.
found a multifamily house that they liked, and I sold it to them.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So that
Do you
happens once
work?
in a while.
Okay. Do you work with a lot of investors or just
I
periodically?
actually, yeah, well, so in 2017, 2018, and 2019,
Mhm.
I sold over 75 homes for an investor. And I was
Okay.
also their CFO too.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Did you enjoy
so
all that?
it was a lot of work. It was,
Take that as a
I
yes.
I probably worked 80 hours a week. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a lot of work, and in 2019, kind of came to an end, but
Okay. That's probably pretty good timing of the market. Maybe they sold a little early and they're probably kicking themselves a little bit, but
Unfortunately, he passed, so
oh,
that's what happened with
okay.
that. But yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay. Okay. So I have a reflection question for most of my guests. I've looking back, right?
yes.
What do you wish you knew about building wealth and success earlier in your career?
I'm probably the old adage, time is of the utmost importance. I mean, even if you had done a little bit when you were really super young, just starting out,
Okay.
the old adage, like a cup of coffee a day, instead of that, put that in your bank account. Um, yes, time is a
Okay.
real thing. It really
Okay.
makes a difference when you get started. And it doesn't matter even if you do a little bit, time will help you in that manner as opposed to waiting.
For sure. There's that's I think it's a common answer and it's a common misconception because or not misconception, but uh, aspect that people don't appreciate when they're younger because they think they're going to
Right.
live forever and everything's
Right.
right. And
You're like,
that
I'll start saving in 10 years. I'll start saving
sure,
in 5 years, or I'll start, doing
sure,
this later. But I think the other thing too, back with time, is that I think sometimes when you're young, you don't think you could invest in a rental property. You're like,
right.
oh, that's, too far out there. But
You
it's
don't know
really
what you
not.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I know some realtors that started this, when they were, 18, 20 years old, and they own like 30 properties. I mean, yeah, they're all set.
nice. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. Start early for sure. And another thing that I think is a challenge for young people is the current generation, right? Is I think every generation, every young population has had those sort of thoughts and concerns, but I think it's even worse nowadays in this day and age of instant gratification, right? Trying to sell somebody on delayed gratification is even harder, I think, nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, and if you think back, I don't know how old you are, but I remember back, I was just talking to my friend, and we're like, how did we live without computers? We didn't have cell phones. We didn't
Oh, it
have
was
this.
brutal,
Like,
wasn't
oh
it?
my goodness. And so everything is instant right now for sure. But yeah, I think if you just get to that point where you're like not really thinking that you're having to even it's not great. You should think of it as gratification that you're investing. In fact, I know that we're talking about delayed gratification, but if you start to think of investing as gratification and as fun and as a positive, then I
Right.
think you're going to be more likely to do it. Yeah, you're going to want to do it.
For sure. All right. Good stuff, Sherry. Thank you. So if people would like to connect with you and learn more, what should they do?
Oh, there's a few ways. You can always text Homes 749 to 32323. That's HOMES 749 to 32323. Or you can call me 480 5853. You can WhatsApp me there and yeah, reach out anytime. I actually answer my phone. I'm one of
And
those few agents that answer their
right?
phone.
Nah, that's so
If I'm
important.
awake, I answer my
It
phone.
is so surprising how many agents don't. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it is true.
All right. Well, and LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on
Okay.
Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. So
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening and watching. Thank you very much, Sherri Parkin, for joining me today. We appreciate you sharing your story and insights into success and real estate here in Phoenix.
thank you.
Inspired by our guests? Visit phoenixprosperitypodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.